Hello, everyone. Are you ready for the brand new DTM season 2025? We certainly are. It's been such a long winter break, and now we are here in Oschersleben, and the sun is shining. It's a little bit chilly, but we are psyched to be back. All in all, we have 24 drivers from 9 brands who are eager to get started here. The whole new season is about to begin. And yeah, the man who will be hunted is this guy here, Mirko Bortolotti, of course, still with Lamborghini, but what is new is he is with the team at Sportsline. So that's going to be exciting. His main role obviously is to defend the title, but everybody wants that one. Everyone's going to push so hard, and let's see if Mirko Bortolotti can grab another pole today as he did last year here in Oschersleben. It's going to be exciting, and we cannot wait to get started. All in all, 14 curves, 3.6 kilometers, and this course here is tricky. So let's do it. Let's get qualifying. Here are your commentators. Enjoy.
Thanks very much, Verena. Great to see you again. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. We're back again. 6 months since we were last in action. Another 16 races, another 8 rounds of the championship, 6 of them in Germany, 2 overseas at Zandvoort to come in June in the Netherlands, and then later in the season we'll be at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Mirko Bortolotti, as Verena says, the defending champion as we come into DTM 2025. Here we are then at Oschersleben. The DTM first came here in the year 2000. It is a tricky circuit, quite a unique track. It has a couple of fast sections, but lots of twists and turns here. 2000 was the first time that we came here, and there was a bit of a break between 2015 and 2023. It's been great to be back here. We always have huge crowds. Opel and Manuel Reuter still involved in the DTM, victorious here all those years ago, back in the Opel Astra. But in the last 4 races that we've had here since the GT3 era came to this circuit, we've had 4 different pole sitters and 4 different winners, so it's always difficult to predict. Although Porsche have been looking strong in free practice, and the official test session was here at the start of the month. Thomas Preining, the 2023 champion, who loves this place. You speak to drivers, not many of them absolutely love Oschersleben, but Tommy Preining just likes this circuit. He gets on well with it. He nearly won here 2 years ago in his championship winning season, but for a pit stop penalty, which cost him a run through the penalty box and cost him a victory. But he loves it here, and he was quickest in the pre-season test a few weeks ago with his one of his 2 teammates now, because that's another one of the 5 rookies that we've got, Maurice Schuring, joining the Manthey squad, the Manthey Junior team he's officially in, but a 3rd Porsche in the team, and it was the other Porsche of Anjan Guven, the Turkish driver, about to start his 3rd season of DTM, that was 2nd quickest in that test here at the start of the season. And then yesterday in free practice 1, Tommy Preining was quickest, and Anjan Guven was 3rd quickest, so the Porsche's looking good, although don't rule out others. Jordan Pepper coming in for his 1st full season in the championship with the TGI team Lamborghini by GRT, the Grasser Racing team. He made his debut at Sachsenring last year. He's been in the top 3 in the pre-season test. He was 2nd quickest in free practice 1 yesterday. Great to see this man back in action as well in the DTM. Timo Glock, ex-Formula 1 racer. And there is Olaf Manthey, who founded the Manthey squad and celebrated his 70th birthday earlier this week. So belated happy birthday to Olaf. One of our former champions on the grid is Marco Wittmann, back with Schubert Motorsport, their home race here, but the BMWs potentially facing a tricky weekend, although Marco led the race until just a few laps from the end last year after a clever pit stop strategy. René Rast is back, another track champion, a triple champion in the other BMW. And there is Tommy Preining, the 2023 champion. Mirko Bortolotti, our defending champion, though, of course, the first Italian to win in the DTM, the championship title since Nicola Larini back in 2023. Jack Aitken, who won 3 races last year. If ML Fry Racing can get the consistency over the course of the season, Jack should be a real contender, because he's proven time and time again he's quick enough to get poles and win races. And there are 3 Ferraris this season, because Ben Green is one of the other rookies, the British driver coming in, former GT Masters racer, to join Thierry Vermeulen and Jack Aitken at Ferrari. There's so much to talk about, different formats in the races, new fuel, new tyres in the cars, on the cars, new Pirelli compound. But the season now gets underway. A 20-minute qualifying session to set the grid for this afternoon's first race of the season. and it's the two BMWs that lead the charge out, followed by one of the Aston Martins, because we've got Aston Martin joining the grid, coming back into the DTM, and Ford coming in as well as a new manufacturer for the GT3 era, with the two Ford Mustangs run by the HRT squad, Hubert Hout's team, and lots to look forward to, those rumbling V8s from the Astons and the Fords. It's attracted a huge crowd. We got 42,000 people here last year. We're expecting even more this year. They built a new grandstand on the run down to turn 1, which can hold another 800 odd people. So great to see the racing well supported. Qualifying is underway. My name's Chris Hartley. I'm here in the commentary box in Oschersleben. Looking forward to this. Chomping at the bit to get going. And alongside me, just as excited as ever, is Brian Oliver.
Yeah, good morning, Chris. Excited doesn't even start to describe it. It has been a long winter, but the excitement for this season started to build. Well, it was about October last year. So many news stories, new drivers, new manufacturers into the series, returning drivers, new tyres, new fuels, new format for the race. So much going on, and it's all set fair to be an epic season. It's a bigger grid of cars than last year, and so much excitement. Lots of questions have been asked over the winter. Now it's time to get some answers, because finally DTM 2025 is underway.
24 drivers from 12 different countries. We've got 9 brands now, with Ford and Aston Martin joining their party. That's more different brands in the DTM than we've had since 1987. Fantastic support for the championship. We've got the 3 champions, René Rast, 4 champions, René Rast, Mirko Bortolotti.
Go. Take your time. We seem to be the last car to go out, so we can take our procedure.
That man Thomas Preining, chilled, and of course Marco Wittmann. And in terms of the drivers out there on the circuit, 13 of them, more than half of them, have been race winners in the DTM. In terms of this particular circuit, Oschersleben, as I said, and the GT3 era, we had some time away from this circuit, but we came back a couple of years ago, and we've had 4 different pole sitters and 4 different winners in this era. In terms of the qualifying, the pole positions over the last few years have gone 1 apiece to Jack Aitken, Mirko Bortolotti, Franck Pereira, who then went to get the first ever win for Lamborghini in the DTM 2 years ago, and Thomas Preining on pole position. There then is Mirko Bortolotti, a defending champion, still in a Lamborghini, but with SSR Performance dropping out of the championship, he's moved across to ABD Sportsline and the ABD team, the most successful team currently on the grid. 78 race wins in the DTM, are looking for this man, Brian, to get them their first Drivers' Championship title since Timo Scheider back in 2009.
And you could not pick a better pilot. He is looking sharp as ever, on top of his game. He's looking chilled and laid back, and I would say a chilled and laid back Mirko Bortolotti is a dangerous Mirko Bortolotti. An interesting session this. It's different weather conditions to what we had yesterday. It was cloudy and quite cool yesterday. The sun is blazing down today. We've got a new tyre, the new Pirelli P0 DHG slick tyre, which is made with sustainable components, which are certified by the Forest Stewardship Council, so all about sustainability. But it's a different tyre to what we had last year, so very much a bit of discovery going on here by the teams and the drivers. This session, well, the track is arguably going to get quicker and quicker as the session goes on, as the heat builds in the air, in the track, and as more rubber is laid down. We've seen some drivers do their formation lap, then come back into the pits to allow the heat to soak from the brakes through the rims and into the tyres. We've seen other drivers like René Rast in the BMW, who's out already. We know the BMW struggles more with getting the heat into the tyres, so get the feeling that maybe René Rast, Marco Wittmann, maybe the Mercedes runners will be out for a longer period during this qualifying session to get that heat into the tyres, get the tyres into the window before the push lap. Others have peeled off into the pits, It's all going to kick off, certainly in the second half of this qualifying session, but it's short and sharp. The 15 minutes that remaining will be gone in the blink of an eye.
The BMWs have really struggled to get heat into the tyres last season. So the 3 BMWs that we had for Schubert last year, Marco Wittmann, René Rast and Sheldon van der Linde, who's not in the championship this year, they qualified on average 12th, 13th and 14th on the grid. René Rast had 1 top 3 in qualifying, and only 4 times out of 16 in qualifying last year was René Rast. This is a 3-time champion, remember. Only 3 times did he make the top 10 in qualifying. Just before this weekend, balance of performance changes. The balance of performance where you can adjust the weight of the cars. You can, this year, adjust the rear wing settings. You can change the boost on the turbo-powered cars like the Ferraris and the BMWs, put restrictors in them. It's all to equalise things, because these are different types of cars with different weights, different base weights of the cars, different engine sizes, different amounts of horsepower. And the balance of performance tried to tweak these things. And a big change for this year is for the BMWs, as we see on the Astons, getting crossed up and whoop, onto the grass for Nicolas Bart, one of our 5 rookies, former TCR racer, who's former Gold Cup class winner in GT World Challenge as well. But the Aston just getting a bit wide there in the Come To You racing squad that run that car, the Belgian squad, new to DTM, and actually only involved in GT3 racing for a couple of years. They cut their teeth in touring car racing and TCR racing. But going back to the BMWs, yeah, ride height adjustment, 1.5 millimeters on the front axle, 7.5 millimeters on the rear axle. So the cars are higher off the ground, and the lower the ground clearance, the better a car will handle, the better the aerodynamics, the quicker it will be through the turns. We had last year, the Porsches were raised 5 millimeters, and that really affected them in the first half of the season until they reworked the setup. René Rast and Schubert not best pleased with that change. They've got an Evo package on the car, a development package with some extra winglets on the cars, and changes to the way they can change the differential on the cars. But René Rast said there's not that much difference. There's not a big step forward in terms of performance. But maybe because they've got this Evo package, then that balance of performance has changed. They also tend to struggle a little bit around here anyway, the BMWs. And that might be the case for the Fords as well, because they're big, long wheelbase cars, wide cars, and it's a pretty twisty circuit, this, isn't it?
And getting it right is very important, because here at the Oschersleben Motorsport Arena, overtaking is pretty difficult, and getting the heat into the tyres, particularly in this qualifying session, getting the handle right on these cars, really important, because if they qualify towards the back of the pack, it's going to give them a steep mountain to climb this afternoon. At the moment, everybody bar one car is out, is in the pits. There's only one car on track, but that's about to be increased significantly, because we can see a number of cars now getting moving, none more so than Riccardo Feller. What a great story we have there. He is driving the very car that he won the GT Masters Championship with in 2021. His drive originally was due to be on the grid with a Porsche for this year, and that deal fell through at the last minute, and it looked like we were going to have a season without Riccardo Feller on the grid. But his dad, who owns that car that won the 2021 GT Masters Championship for Monteplas by land back then, along with his co-pilot Christopher Mies, they put the car in a museum. They lacquered the panels to preserve the racing wear on them. They've dug that car out of the museum. They put some fresh panels on it, upgraded it with a new Evo kit, and Riccardo Feller is out on track. Anyone who thought that last year was going to be the final year we would see an Audi R8 in DTM were mistaken, because Riccardo Feller is back, and really great to see him there. Such determination. Also great to have Land Motorsport on the grid of DTM. They've got a steep learning curve, because I don't think performance pit stops is something that they have a lot of experience with. But it would be something of a fairy tale if Riccardo Feller could get it on the podium or even get a win. And that's not out of the question, because the car is still very competitive.
Well, he was on the podium here last year with the Audi. Remember, 2 years ago, Riccardo was going for the championship title. He was third in the championship. He took it right down to the final weekend at Hockenheim. And Riccardo Feller has brought in a couple of experienced and familiar faces into the team. So his race engineer is Fabio Vassa, who Worked with Ricardo at Abt 2 years ago in 2023, on his way to that third place in the championship. And his data engineer is Florian Gresser, who worked with Ricardo at Abt last year. So there's some DTM experience for sure there. Of course, Ricardo very well experienced as an Audi driver. Technically a factory driver for Porsche these days. You've also got Nicky Thiem, who's in the other Abt Sportsline Lamborghini. He's moved with Mirko Bortolotti from SSR Performance. He's actually an Aston Martin factory driver, and he's racing against Aston Martins this year. And he's racing against the team Come To You Racing, with whom he won the Spa 24 Hours in their Aston Martin last year on that superb week that he had, where he won that, and then he ended up winning his first DTM race at the Norris Ring again. Maurice Schuring then in the Porsche looked comfortable. We spoke to him yesterday and he's very relaxed, really looking forward to it. Said he feels like he's come home because he's been on the support package before as a Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland driver on the DTM weekends. And he was the GT class winner at Le Mans last year, having been one of the youngest ever drivers just to compete at Le Mans. He then went and won the GT class. The Dutch driver there in the orange and black Manthey car will be a bit of a dark horse, I reckon, this weekend, because we know the Porsches are looking good, and we know that although he's in his first season of DTM, his first weekend of DTM, Maurice Schuring is a very accomplished driver, and it looks like he's going to set the early benchmark time. Yesterday, in terms of the times that we had in free practice, we got into the 122s, but of course you have your best tyres for qualifying in the race. Here at Oschersleben, you get 4 sets of new slicks to last for 2 qualifying sessions and for 2 races. In free practice, you have 2 used sets and only 1 new set of tyres. And Thomas Preining in free practice won a 122.5. And Maro Engel was fastest in free practice too with a 122.3. But Thomas Preining's qualifying lap record around this circuit is in the 121s. So that's what we should be looking for. The drivers have said there's not too much difference between this new compound of tyre and the old one, so it should be the case that we're able to get pretty close to those times. It's comparable track temperatures and air temperatures than we had at Oschersleben last year as well, but it wasn't particularly warm, so we'll see how it goes. But we should be looking at 121s. Ian Jinguen building up, but we're not there yet. 125 goes quickest for now. Maurice Schuring is on his second push lap. Second and third push laps should be the ones where you really see the difference. But you're right, Brian, about pole position being crucial, because in the GT3 era that we've come here, 3 out of the last 4 pole sitters have gone on to win the race. The only pole sitter that didn't was Thomas Preining, and the only reason he didn't win the race was because of a pit stop penalty.
Yeah, and they'll be very aware of that one this year, won't they? But Thomas Preining looking very confident. Unbelievably, we're getting towards the last quarter of this qualifying session already. So the track is about to get very busy, weaving from side to side, generating that heat into the tyres, getting them into the window. That's a man who's looking confident and dialed in all day yesterday in another of the Manthey EMA cars, Ian Jinguen, and you can see the purple in sector 1 means that he's the quickest of anybody, still building the heat, still weaving, so maybe the next lap is going to be a big push lap as well, but certainly 2 purple sectors, so Ian Jinguen may be the first to really put the hammer down here, with just coming up to 6.5 minutes remaining. He's out of turn 14, so he's going to be along the pit straight. He's got nobody in front of him. He goes wide. He'll be improving on his 125 dead last time around, and it's a 123.652. Getting closer to the mark, but maybe still a bit more time to come. Yeah, but Maurice Schuring is behind him on the track. There is the orange Porsche, and he's done an absolute best sector 1. The first sector takes in the run from the start line to the exit to turn 3. Sector 2 is almost as long, takes the run through turns 4, 5, 6 and 7 at the chicane, 8 and 9 down the back straight, and the last section takes in the S-bend section, the right and then the left third gear corners through turns 11 and 12, and then the last 2 right-handers at 13 and 14, but he's backed off, look. He was 3/10 up through the first sector, but he's waiting to go for it again, trying to give himself a gap in the traffic so he doesn't get held up, and this is always the issue
when you've got everybody leaving it to the last 5 or 6 minutes of the session. You're about to start a flying lap, and you're on a flying lap, and you find that there are cars still building up tyre temperature, creeping around. So that's one of the issues. Arjen Guren has never had a pole position in the DTM. He's best qualifying second at the Sachsenring in 2023. Sachsenring he loves. He was on the podium there last year. Let's see how he gets on. He certainly looks like he's going to be the first to pull the trigger. Absolute best through sector 1, 29.8. 28.2 through the second sector is an absolute best so far. So this is easily going to be in the 122s. Will he get to the 121s? It's going to be provisional pole, I'm sure, for the Turkish driver who comes through, goes over the line and puts in a 121.647. That is a good start, but we might have to go quicker yet. So the qualifying lap record is a 121.3 from Thomas Preining. Maro Engel is on a very good hot first sector. You're on board with the Ricardo fellow. Jules Gounon, who's about to embark upon his first season, full season in DTM, having made his debut at Hockenheim, standing in for Lukas Stolz at the end of last season. He got 6th place in one of the races there. And Jules has gone second quickest with a 122.0. Mirko Bortolotti, who was 5th quickest in free practice 1 yesterday. He was only 20th in free practice 2, but he was concentrating on race runs, longer runs. And the team said to us, though, he was very happy with the way the car was working. So we'll see how that goes. Maro Engel, 3rd in the championship last year, goes over the line and goes to the top of the times, 123.348. That is 1,000th of a second off equaling the qualifying lap record. And we're not done yet, Brian.
4 minutes remaining. Hold on to your hats. This is going to be a wild 4 minutes. Currently, Luca Engstler is the quickest in Sector 1 of anybody. He's not had a great Sector 2, though. Maro Engel quickest of all in Sector 2. And in Sector 3, Thierry Vermeulen is the quickest. So different brands, different drivers, all improving on their times. Arjen Guren up to P2 at the moment. We can see the timing with Luca Engstler. He's in the final sector of his lap. But everybody improving. We've got every single car, 24 cars out on track.
Yeah, and don't forget Thomas Preining. He is out of sync with everybody else. He was the last one out. He's going to try and be the last one over the line. Let them all grip up the circuit for you and then take advantage. So Tommy Preining in the 91 Porsche about to go over the start-finish line. There he goes through your shot. He's running slightly out of sync. Jordan Pepper has gone out to the top of the times for now, though, on his first full season as well, having made his debut at the Sachsenring last year. The South African with a 121.312. That is a new qualifying lap record, but it doesn't last long because Lucas Auer now sets a new qualifying lap record. These tyres are good then. 121.088 seconds. He's 2/10 up. So Lugi, who you're on board with now, who is in very relaxed form when we spoke to him on the pre-test day on Thursday. Doing lots of media work, but he's looking good here. He spent the last 4 seasons with Winward. He's still, of course, a Mercedes Works driver, but he's now with the Landgraf team, and he is quickest. Jordan Pepper is dead second. Jules Gounon is 3rd. Maro Engel is 4th. 3 Mercedes in the top 4. Ben Green, top of the times. He's been thereabouts in the practice sessions. The British driver in the Emile Frey Racing Ferrari, there he is. Goes onto provisional pole, 120.893 seconds. And we got 2 minutes to go. Here is Jules Gounon, personal best through the first sector, lost a bit through the middle sector. Where will he wind up as he goes over the line? And in the Winward car goes 4th quickest. So it's Ben Green, Lucas Auer, Jordan Pepper, Jules Gounon the top 4, Maro Engel 5th, Luca Engstler's got up to 6th on his first push lap. Tommy Preining is 7th. How is he getting on at the moment? He goes 4th over the line. So Tommy Preining with time for probably time for 2 more laps, but 1 more push lap on those tyres, I would say. Keep an eye on him as Lucas Auer goes 2nd with 2 really good sectors in the second half of the lap. So Auer with a 121.004, but Ben Green with the best lap time. He's still a 10th up on him, so he improves his time, Lucas Auer, but he stays 2nd. Green has done a personal best first sector. The second sector, he's done a 28.1, and he really wants to be in the high 27s, so he's lost a couple of tenths through that second sector. And is he backing it off now? Yeah, he is. So he can't find any more. So Ben Green sets the time, 120.893. How about this? What if he gets pole position on debut in the DTM? Who saw that one coming?
Well, it could be a lot braver than guessing on Ben Green, because we've seen him win multiple times in GT Masters. The only driver in the 120s at the moment. Can anybody match that? We're into the final minute of qualifying. Jack Aitken, a personal best in Sector 1, but not in Sector 2. But he's in the identical car, the same team as Ben Green, so he fancies getting on the front row as well.
Prining's not far off. Personal best through the first sector, which almost matched the best. No improvement in the middle sector, but he wasn't far off there either. He has a good end to the lap. Let's see. No, not quite. Stays fourth. Couldn't quite find it. So I don't think he's going to have any more tyres left. He'll get another lap, but I don't think he'll be able to improve. Lucas Sauer, who's second, has gone in the pits anyway. Jack Aitken, you're watching now. He's 7th quickest at the moment. Personal best lap last time around with a 1:21.405. It's oh so close out there. There's just over half a second covering the top 11 drivers in this session, which is insane. So it is, at the moment, Ben Green from Lucas Sauer, Jordan Pepper, Tommy Prining in top 4, Jules Gunn on 5th, Maro Engel 6th, Jack Aitken 7th, Ian Nguyen in 8th, Luca Engstler and Ricardo Feller in the top 10. The checkered flag has now come out. Jack Aitken through the first sector, 3/10 down, so there's not going to be a big improvement there. Tom Callender is trying still. He's 18th at the moment, but he's just done a decent first sector, 3/10 down on the overall time. But the youngest driver ever in the DTM, the 17-year-old in the Mercedes, trying to work his way up still. So he's in the middle of the lap at the moment. Here he comes through. It's another personal best, so it's half a second down overall. But if he can kind of maintain that, he might be pushing the top 12 here. He just wants to be hopeful that nobody gets in his way at the end of the lap, which is going to be an issue. He just about squeezes past the two cars that are pit bound, one of the Ferraris. It was Jack Aitken. He just about got through that gap. Committed stuff from Tom Callender. Where does it put him? No improvement. Just had to weave out of the way.
Corner. Yeah. Look who's in 13th place, our defending champion, Mirko Bortolotti. So it's not been a great session for him. He's still out on a lap at the moment, but he doesn't look like he's improving. I don't think anybody's getting anywhere near Ben Green. He's certainly an epic lap. There's a replay of that moment, and Tom Callender had to get out of the power, and I think that what has cost him on that flying lap. He had Jack Aitken on one side, and he had Fabio Scherer on the other side, and a bit of a chicane coming out of turn 14, but I think that maybe cost him a few places.
So, on debut in the DTM, Ben Green is on pole position in the Ferrari. How about that? Welcome, Ben Green. If you didn't know who he was before, you're about to find out who he is now. He's a former DTM trophy champion. So he's been on the DTM package for a few years now, the British driver. He's raced for a couple of seasons in the GT Masters Championship. And with Eduardo Cossetang in his shoe, but BMW had 3 podium finishes in the 2023 season. He had a win in the 2024 season in the GT World Challenge. Started out in Ginetta Super Cup racing in the UK and Ginetta Juniors before that. And he is absolutely pumped. And the Ferrari for Emil Frey Racing, if you had to bet on one of the Ferraris being on pole, I don't think too many people would have picked that one to be the one that was on pole here, but he's done it. Brilliant job. And what a lap. 1:20.893, demolishing the qualifying record. Lugiauer, I think, will be pleased with second place as well. My dark horse for the season, the former championship runner-up, 1:21.004. If you can call Lugi a dark horse, because he's a very accomplished driver. And then Jordan Pepper will be kind of showing what he's done all the way through the weekend, really. Up there in the top 3, third place for the TGI Grasser Racing team. Tommy Prining will be kind of okay, I think, with 4th, but he would have hoped for pole position. Jules Gunn and Maro Engel make it 3 Mercedes in the top 6. They're 5th and 6th respectively. Jack Aitken 7th. Ian Nguyen, I think, will be disappointed with 8th because it's looked better than that in the build-up to this qualifying session. Luca Engstler 9th. Ricardo Feller and the Lands team's debut in the DTM into the top 10. Marco Wittmann 11th. Which is much better than he usually qualified last year. So that's a bit of an improvement. But Rennie Rast back in 17th place will be hugely disappointed. There then, confirmation of your top 10. And look how close it was on the times. Just over half a second covering the top 10. We had 0.8 of a second covering the top 17. And when you all leave it to the last 6 or 7 minutes, it kind of becomes a bit of a lottery. Some got held up for sure. Tom Callender definitely did, didn't he? Not that he was necessarily going for pole, but he should probably be higher than 18th on the grid. But Ben Green and the Emil Frey Racing squad timed it perfectly. The team has been on pole here before. The team has won here before. Jack Aitken is the only current driver on the grid that's won here, been on the podium here more than once. He's had a win and a podium here in the last couple of seasons. They've done it again again, but they've done it with their rookie. And there is a rookie championship this year, Brian. So off to a good start for Ben Green. He is the pole sitter. What a start to the season. Let's get some reaction with Verena.
And here we are with Jordan Pepper. Congratulations to a fantastic P3. You were a guest starter last year, and now it's your first season, whole season here in DTM, so that's a good start.
Yeah, I mean, we showed good pace already from the test days, obviously, and I think it was good that I kind of got that first debut race out of the window, like just to get the nerves settled, know what to expect in DTM. Obviously, it didn't go how I wanted to last year in Sachsenring in the end, but I mean, the goal was quite clear this year. We're coming here to fight for the championship, and yeah, first points of the season at least, even though it's only one, but a good start to the season nevertheless.
Absolutely, and we're psyched to have you. What does it feel like to finally be in the DTM?
Yeah, it's been a dream. Obviously, I joined the DTM paddock back in 2013, here actually for like one of my first races ever in Europe, and you know, it was always a dream to chase and get there, and obviously I watched two of my close mates been so successful in the DTM in the past, and it's a shame they're not here this year, but obviously I'm going to fly the South African flag high, and now that I'm here, obviously I'm very happy, and I hope to stay here for a long time.
Right, absolutely. Thank you so much, and back to you.
Thanks very much, Verena. Yeah, relating there to the VW Sorocco Cup that Jordan Pepper raced in, 12 years ago now, when he first moved over. He's lived over in Germany and Europe ever since, and this has always been the goal. He made his debut at the Sachsenring last year. He was quick all the way through the weekend, but he got involved in a big accident, but he's been quick since the start of the season. Let's get some more reaction now, though, with Verena.
And I'm here with Ben Green, our pole setter. What a way to start the season. So how does that feel, starting it off with a pole?
Yeah, really great. Me and Emil Frey are working together really well. I'm really enjoying the partnership. It's great to start off the season on pole, and yeah, we're going to keep working like that, hopefully.
So how does it feel out there on the track? Are you excited for the race?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, these new Pirelli tyres are working really well. Qualifying was, I think, much faster than normal. So, yeah, it's a great feeling, and I'm looking forward to the race.
Fantastic. So we thank you so much, Ben. And we've got Luki our here. Hello there. How are you doing?
Very good. Positive first qualifying with my new team, Landgraf. And, yeah, perfect, or nearly perfect starting position for the race.
And hey, I mean, it's your 6th season in the DTM. We've got quite some changes this season, but also, I mean, we've got a really strong starter field. So how excited are you about the new season 2025?
Very excited. As always, very competitive. I think in this GT3 era, the best people are meeting here, and always great to have a good qualifying.
Absolutely, and the track here, I mean, it's 14 curves, it's 3.6 kilometers long. It's a very tricky race, but one of your favorites?
I wouldn't say one of my favorites, but a cool track, very technical. Qualifying is super important, as racing is quite tough here, but if you're in the front, it's a good track.
Absolutely, and you're starting from P2, so that's good. All right then, Luki, thank you so much, and back to you.
Thanks very much, Verena. He hasn't been on the podium here, Lucas His best finish at Oschersleben, a 6th place last year. So he's got a real chance here of a podium, maybe a race win. But with that record of the last 4 races, 3 pole sitters winning races, Ben Green will be really looking forward to the race this afternoon. Thanks for your company. That's it from me and Brian in the commentary box. Let's go back to the pit lane and to Verena.
Thanks to the commentators. And yeah, that was our first qualifying in the brand new DTM season 2025. And we're psyched for the race in just a bit. So yeah, don't want to miss that. And now here are the highlights. Enjoy. See you later. Bye-bye.